Ladies and gentlemen, the Durham probe has fostered an internal Federal Bureau of Investigation review or an investigation within that agency, perhaps to either circumvent 18 U.S. Code 371, which is a statute in which if two or more people conspire against the United States government or its people, they can go to prison. CNN, the FBI is conducting an internal review into possible misconduct related to the Trump investigation, including potentially improper handling of surveillance warrant that was used early in the investigation. As an agent revealed in court, a bureau supervisory agent testified that an administration inquiry is underway and that multiple agents are being scrutinized, including himself. He said the inquiry is being handled by the Bureau's Inspection Division, which conducts internal audits and can refer any wrongdoing it finds to the Office of Professional Responsibility, which can recommend discipline or even firing. And so here you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where they know that what they did was hide behind bureaucracy and protocol. What Durham is trying to do is not just indict Sussmann. Convict Michael Sussmann. That's just one small conviction or one statute where he lied to the FBI. Okay, why did he do so? Because there was a grandiose plot. There were a whole lot of people paid by Clinton or coincidentally working either on behalf of Clinton or doing things that benefit the Democratic Party and Trump's direct political rivals. The interesting thing is you'll get something, you see this a lot, you'll get this from media. There's not one shred of evidence that, and then fill in the blank, and if you fill in the blank, it always involves pure coincidences that only benefit Democrats while harming Trump. It's on a variety of topics. And the same thing happened to Bernie Sanders. The reason I keep bringing up Bernie Sanders is because I saw the same thing that took place when I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I saw it. Then the DNC emails took place. Then the DNC emails were published. And then I was still on Twitter at the time. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I don't have any social media or message board-based platform. I have my 3 channels. This channel, by the way, be at the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel right now after this segment, ladies and gentlemen, and be at the stock market crash channel right after this segment. I have very important videos on those channels. And hit subscribe there, hit subscribe here. But I saw it with my own eyes. What happens is you have no information or no evidence that Carter Page or George Papadopoulos or any of these people are working alongside a foreign intelligence agency. But suddenly, coincidentally, out of the blue, FISA warrants are continuously approved. Well, how did that happen? Well, it's Kevin Kleinsmith. And then we have this agent and other agents that are being investigated for continually utilizing these warrants either through deceiving judges or obtaining them somehow. Then you have the issue of a secret recording that was exculpatory evidence that was not given to a judge that could have ended all of those warrants being issued. But, coincidentally, it didn't happen. And the thing is, they just got finished with an investigation in New York where the New York Times and others said, well, Trump and his tax returns are the holy grail of corruption. We have to investigate him. There was no evidence. The New York Times and others never had Trump's tax returns until they eventually did, and they found nothing. But see, with Trump, the allegation or insinuation or any suspicion warrants these wide-scale investigations. With Hunter, you can't even speculate. You couldn't even speculate 2 years ago, or you were completely booted off social media. And so what they've done is they've Liberal sensibilities have been utilized now to determine what we can talk about and what we can't talk about as a society. Hopefully, Twitter and Elon Musk hopefully will allow or make Twitter a place where people can actually discuss serious topics when the discussion is needed the most, not when wonderful, morally superior liberals have had their way, tanked the economy, or successfully suppressed one of the most important stories in any presidential contest, the son of President Mashed Potato Brains Biden, being investigated by this government, by the United States government, for emails showing clear pay-to-play schemes. I mean, one would think an electorate would want to know that. Well, we didn't have the opportunity to know that because everything is horrible dis or mistype of information from another country. Anything that is detrimental to Democrats, by the way, you will get 200, 300, 400, 500 former officials at the Department of Justice and at the Central Intelligence Agency and National Security Agency and FBI and all these places, and they'll say, oh, this is an example of another country wanting you to know bad things about Democrats. And interestingly enough, the seventh floor, the top, we learned this today and yesterday, that the top officials at the Bureau didn't want to know the source of the allegations, which in a bizarre way is the Sussmann defense, but really it's part of the prosecution argument as well. They investigated the Alpha Bank claims without looking at who was making them. And part of that is Sussmann's lie. If he's saying he didn't come to the Bureau and he met with James Baker on behalf of himself and not on behalf of a client, well, there's a reason for that. The reason is that he didn't want the initial meeting to be about the Clinton campaign, the Democratic Party, which, by the way, I want Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. Believe me. I would love that, like I always say, Clinton, Trump 2024. It seems counterintuitive, but we need that. Or Clinton DeSantis 2024. Either way, we need to redo 2016 because we're still living in a matrix. But here, quote, the testimony came at the trial of Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussmann, who was charged by special counsel John Durham. The revelations aren't directly tied to Sussmann, but the special agent was called as a witness because he was involved in the Bureau probe into the Trump-Russia crossfire hurricane that Sussmann brought, Alpha Bank allegation that Sussmann brought to the Bureau in 2016. And then you're finding out that the internet company, people who worked with Tech Executive One were uncomfortable. They felt it was a political hit job. And then you have, of course, the agent denied under oath that he intentionally withheld any exculpatory evidence information, but of course he did in hell. It was all unintentional. All of these, look, here's the thing with a comprehensive review by the Justice Department, this is CNN, previously found significant problems, and the two of the four Carter page related warrants were later declared invalid. The watchdog uncovered the FBI never told FISA court that it had a recording of Page telling an informant that he wasn't working for the Kremlin, or that Trump advisor George Papadopoulos denying the campaign was involved in the hack of the Democratic National Committee. Interestingly enough, the notion, like I said in my last segment, the notion that the Democratic National Committee being allegedly hacked by the Kremlin, the notion that that's national security is absurd. If the reverse were true, if the shoe were on the other foot, if the tables were turned, and Republicans were allegedly infiltrated by China or any country, there would be maybe a 2-second investigation, and that's it. And they, too bad, fix your cybersecurity, that's it. Nobody asks whether the Washington Post's Access Hollywood tape on Trump was an example of another country trying to swing 2016. They can do everything possible with 95% negative media coverage against Trump, and that's fun. They can influence the electorate that way. It's never a plot by another country, but it's always a plot by another country if it's anything detrimental to Democrats. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Go right now to the stock market crash channel and the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or below channel. There's an internal review right now, and they're probably trying to get ahead of the Durham probe special counsel indicting people on 18 U.S. Code 371 for conspiring against an incoming presidential candidate in Trump. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. At a certain point, even the naysayers on the left have to realize that everything works out in their favor. It's just every single, like, Rudy Giuliani isn't buying a dossier. It's always the Democratic Party. Imagine if Giuliani bought a dossier. What would these million sub YouTubers say? If Giuliani bought a dossier, what would they say? And then use it against mashed potato brains. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.